It's the question, it's Pontius Pilate's question, the first postmodernist. What is truth? Mm-hmm. And it was taken up many times by Nietzsche in the Genealogy of Morals, where all truth is interpretation. And of course, this is not the case with Nietzsche and anybody who follows him, as you pointed out, because that's somebody else's truth, that there is no truth, and therefore what do you do with that? And you're into the problem of the Cretan liar. But here is the problem for me. Even with your talk, which is, as usual, brilliant and I think grounded in tremendous amount of factual information. I was asked once, after a book of mine came out, which was contested hotly by many people, what gave me the right to think I had the truth? This was an interviewer in Toronto for a Random House thing. And why did I think what I was saying was true? Who was I to say that I had the truth? And I said, I don't have the truth. And I had to come up with some explanation quickly in some kind of phrase, and it just occurred to me, I said, all I have is this, credible verisimilitude. What is credible verisimilitude? He wanted to know. I said, A, it depends on gathering as much evidence as you possibly can, even if you have to counter your own biases. You just said with the least amount of deceit or self-indulgence as possible. And the second factor is common sense, which seems to be not so common these days. So if you can put evidence and common sense together and at the same time try and marshal and monitor your own proclivities, I went right, but that was hard with my book because I was left before I could go right. And I had to make that decision. Do I want to go right and lose all my friends? Or do I want to stay left and, have Ketman and join my friends and so on? I had to go right because that's what the evidence told me, against my own desires. So honesty, if you can manage it, evidence and common sense. But here's the problem. Truth. It's still there. How do you get from credible verisimilitude to truth? Where is the bridge? How do you get there? Nobody can say that, ultimately. Yes, the problem, I think, you can say certain things are true, certain dates, etc., etc. Certain things have happened, certain men have suffered as a result of feminism. All this is true. But where truth seems to founder is when you enter the realm of cause. Who has the truth to explain why feminism developed in the way it did, or why climate warming or global warming developed in the way it did? We can point out the facts, this is wrong, this is happening. But when you get out of the element, the region of events, and into the region of the causes, that's the bridge, the gap from credible verisimilitude to truth. And I frankly don't know how to manage that. So the conclusion I'm coming to is a little bit different from your conclusion. It's not the one that I want to come to, and I would like to resist it. But the conclusion I'm coming to is quite simply, we're fucked.
Yes, but that's always been true, right? The apocalypse is always, that's why the apocalypse is eternal, because the world's always coming to an end. And it's actually true, in small ways and in great ways. I mean, with regards to your ideas about truth, I would say that, like language, truth is more like a process. And I would say it's a process that you actually embody rather than conceptualize abstractly. And one of the ways I've thought about it is that if you're seeking the truth, then what you don't know is more important to you than what you know. And that's a fundamental orientation, right? I mean, what I've been doing since September, and I've had friends who've been helping me with this, but I think I've been doing this for a long time, is I'm trying to figure out where I'm wrong. I'm watching the audience to see if I'm making a mistake. I'm listening to my friends who are watching my YouTube videos telling me when I'm a little too angry maybe, or maybe too pompous or too noisy, or all the different ways that you can fail in front of an audience. I'm listening to them, I'm listening to the comments, and I'm trying to modify myself accordingly. And so you live in error and strive towards the truth, and it's in that striving that the truth is most accurately embodied. But then I would also say one other thing, and this is what I like about the existentialists, is that there's a kind of emphasis on pragmatic truth among the existentialists, because they claim that your truth is something that you should act out, not merely hold, because to act out is to believe it. It's a definition, right? It's not precisely a proposition, it's a definition. And so I found some things that I was confident enough in to risk acting out. And so that's what I'm doing to the best of my ability, and then I'm watching what happens. And and I'm watching what happens if other people act out the propositions. And as far as I can tell, so far so good. I mean, I wouldn't say that my position right now is to be, what would you, envied. It's very stressful. I mean, since September, I've basically been in the position of any mistake is fatal for all intents and purposes. You know, and that's very stressful to be that hyper vigilant. And but by the same token, the public response to what I've been doing has been overwhelmingly positive. You know, I've only got 3 pieces of hate mail, which just staggers me, you know, and the comments on YouTube, for example, are like 50 to 1 positive. And I mean, yeah, maybe it's a biased sample, I can't tell, but and the other thing, you know, I've been trying to rip holes in the ideas that I've presented to you today for really, like, with all my intellectual capability for as long. Every time I lecture, I'm trying to do the same thing. Is like, is there something in this that I haven't got right? Because I was trying to look for a rock at the bottom of things, you know. And partly why I decided that I wasn't going to use those damn words is because I think the rock at the bottom of things is honest speech. I really believe that. It seems to me to be right. And that's good enough, so I'll act that out and see what happens as best I can. I mean, I'm not claiming to be any more honest than anyone else, you know, seriously, I'm not. That's a big claim to make. You better watch your bloody step if you're going to say that. But that doesn't mean I don't believe that honest speech is the pathway to redemption, because I do believe that. So I know that's strange language, but you know, that's still, it's the most accurate language for that kind of conceptualization.